Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tiger Tank 12, however you want to call me, I don't really care. And today we're back in World of Tanks. I'm playing the VK4502B, the German Tier 9 heavy tank, next to the E75, one of the two Tier 9s heavy tanks in the game, at least for Germans. And we are playing on the brand new map, Glacier. And you can see it's a very nice matchup. We're playing against some other Tier 9 tanks, but mostly Tier 8s and even some Tier 7 vehicles. So, although we are stock with this tank, we could still do quite a lot of damage. Now, being stock right here in this vehicle is not completely true. This vehicle is not fully stock. I have gotten the best engine. I think I have the second best gun you can get on the vehicle, next to the 128mm cannon that you can use on this vehicle and the E75. And I think I do have very good radio transmission, but radio obviously is not that important. But this tank, well, is very famous for its very strong frontal armor, almost impenetrable except for the turret, which in a stock version, like I'm driving right now, is not that great. But that doesn't really bother us, because we're still top tier right here. But today we don't really want to talk about this tank. Although this tank is very interesting, we might see a what to expect video, a review of this tank, because it is very, very special, and I think a lot of people do very enjoy German heavy tanks. And this game, this tank, for example, is probably a fan favorite. And yeah, today we are not talking about this tank and not about this gameplay. Today we're going to be talking about 1.0. 1.0, the update has been released for I think about 12 days now, or like almost 2 weeks. And that means that we can give kind of a early review about how 1.7 is perceived, at least by me, and what I think of the update. Well, first and foremost, I've prepared a list of pros and cons of the update that I myself, now this is very important, this is a personal opinion, and everyone is entitled to have their own opinion. And there are quite a few points actually that are on both sides of this update. It's not just pro, but it's not just negative as well. So, I mean, it's one of the biggest updates that have been awaited for very, very long time now. I think people have been waiting for new visuals for over a year now, since they released the sandbox server, which I actually was playing on and brought you guys some footage with. And so obviously people are very excited about this patch. And you can see it with the player numbers. Well, Wargaming are also like advertising World of Tanks like crazily, all over YouTube, all over the internet, and all over on other places, social media, wherever. So, starting with the cons. One of the things I've noticed happening with 1.0 is basically that I've gotten a lot more scam messages than I have gotten previously ever in World of Tanks. I have gotten basically a scam message every day by bots who, well, pretty much people who make accounts right now that have 0 games in them, and they're trying to delude you into getting on a certain website where you can get like 3 marks and buy them for real money. Now, do not click on these links, do not add these URLs into your browser tab, do not go on these websites, because that's how you are going to get scammed. That's how you're going to lose your World of Tanks account and all credit card information probably as well. I don't even know. So scammers have been a big issue currently in World of Tanks. Although I don't really think that anyone, or at least many people, are falling for them, it's just very important to keep that in your head. Scammers are an issue, and we should definitely tackle that objective as soon as we can. The next problem I have is the flattening of the maps. Some maps obviously have been very flat now since the update. First map that comes into mind for me is Erlenberg. That map has become so flat. It's like every map which had like nooks and crannies, some outgrowths and little hills, has basically become flat right now. And that's great for some tanks, especially Chinese, Japanese vehicles with very, very bad gun depression, but it's very bad for other tanks with great gun depression. So yeah, that sucks, and I would like to see some more hills added to the game again. Then, the next problem that we are currently facing is the disappearance of certain maps. We have lost several maps in the progress of this update. For example, Highway, Kharkov, Klondike, Pilsen, Windstorm, Mittengard, Sacred Valley, Stalingrad, and White Park have all been removed from World of Tanks 1.0. If they will return, well, that is probably up to debate. I think some of them will return. It was clear that they will not be able to make every map into a HD version, and some of these maps were very widely hated. For example, Highway was probably one of the most disliked maps because it just didn't really work out. Although they overworked that map several times, it didn't work out. People were not playing it to their strengths, and it was a frustrating experience altogether. So, that pretty much covers all the cons of this update. Moving on to the pros now, and I think there are several things that we could pretty much count into this video, but I'm just gonna name the ones that I think are the most important here. New map, obviously. This map is really cool, I like it. I'm soon gonna make a video about all the maps in World of Tanks now that have been changed, or pretty much map guides for every map that is in the game, and I hope I don't promise too much, but I will try to make those videos happen, and now since I have a bit of time, I will cover them as soon as I have the opportunity. Then, obviously, physics and looks. This game has never looked as phenomenally as it does right now. The sky, the wind box, all of the things, it looks absolutely beautiful. The skybox, excuse me, not the wind box. But if you take a look at the map, like, for example, right here, we're just looking at this artillery piece, you can just see how beautiful this map has become. If we take a look around the entire battlefield, the game has become very stunningly and very, very beautiful in that sense. Then, obviously, atmosphere has increased. The music for every single map, it's really, really cool that they have done this. Then, the events that they are currently hosting, the 1.0 extravaganza event that I covered previously in a video is really cool as well. And I think that the general direction of this game right now is a very, very good kind of direction. I like how Wargaming are, communicating with us. I like how they're doing those things, and I generally am a big fan of these updates. So, to give a final verdict, practically, I'd have to say the overall kind of sense that I have, the overall kind of view is very positive. I'm very happy with this update. I like 1.0, but it certainly has its flaws. One of the things that really bothers me is that a lot of those maps have been replaced or just disappeared, and those scammers are really annoying. But I think that the pros by far outweigh the cons if we take a look at the general update. I think it has been a very healthy update for this game. It has really made this game more alive than in a very long time. People have finally returned, there is interest again in the game. And I think that is a very good way. Now, I think the next step should be not adding more tanks. Well, actually, the next step will probably be adding those Italian tanks. But I think the next step should be to address Matchmaker, at least at Tier 8, and see if we can fix Tier 8 once and for all. If matchmaking for Tier 8, especially with the premium vehicles, could be addressed and it could be fixed, we have a very good foundation for this game, and thus we could build even bigger and even better things. Now, that's just my general kind of perception of the 1.0 update right now. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the update, and as always, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.